From war hero to murderer and war criminal, Ben Roberts-Smith today lost his defamation battle against 9 newspapers, the most high-profile and costly defamation case ending in a crushing loss for the Victoria Cross recipient.
In light of my conclusions, each proceeding must be dismissed.
His position as Australia's most decorated war hero now shattered, with a judge finding allegations that he murdered unarmed Afghan civilians and that he committed war crimes were substantially true. Roberts-Smith sued 9 newspapers for defamation over a series of articles published in 2018 that he said painted him as a war criminal. Among the claims that Roberts-Smith shot a man with a prosthetic leg in the back with a machine gun. They also claimed he kicked a handcuffed Afghan farmer off a 10-metre cliff and then ordered for him to be shot dead. In delivering his verdict, Justice Anthony Basanko first found the articles conveyed almost every defamatory imputation that Roberts-Smith alleged. And then he found they were all substantially true.
I am satisfied that the respondents have made out a defence of contextual truth with respect to that imputation.
Well, he found most of the imputations were substantially true. It is a victory for the media and for investigative journalism, press freedom too. But it's a devastating blow for Australia's SAS force.
Today's judgment exemplifies how the exhaustive public interest journalism of The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald serves our community and serves our country. The series of stories at the centre of this trial will have a lasting impact on the Australian Defence Force and how our soldiers conduct themselves in Afghanistan.
There are already indications that Ben Roberts-Smith intends to appeal this damning verdict, and 9 is likely to apply for Roberts-Smith or a third party to pay for its exorbitant legal fees. Ben Roberts-Smith was Australia's most decorated living soldier. The former Special Air Service Corporal was awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery in a 2010 battle in Tizak, Afghanistan. The verdict today, the culmination of nearly 5 years of legal battle. 9 News revealed Ben Roberts-Smith was in Bali, relaxing by a hotel pool on the eve of this verdict. The reaction from the 9 newspapers, the Sydney Morning Herald, the Age and the Canberra Times, clear celebration. Journalist Nick McKenzie tweeted, "Justice." And here he was today after the verdict.
Today is a day of justice. It's a day of justice for those brave men of the SAS who stood up and told the truth about who Ben Roberts-Smith is. A war criminal, a bully and a liar. Today is a day of some small justice for the Afghan victims of Ben Roberts-Smith.
And this was the reaction on the Sydney Morning Herald website. The case reportedly costing both parties more than $25 million. There are already calls now for Roberts-Smith to be stripped of his Victoria Cross medal. Here's reaction from the University of Sydney's Professor Ben Saul. And even before the verdict today, Roberts-Smith's reputation had been destroyed. It's a point the Daily Telegraph made. Writing today, since the first article was published in 2018, Roberts-Smith has gone from a national hero to a virtual pariah. University of Melbourne Law School Associate Professor Jason Bosland, he's also the Director of Media Communications Law Research Network, told the Sydney Morning Herald that this is the biggest defamation case we've ever had, at least in recent times, because of the nature of the reporting, the seriousness of the allegations and the status of the claimant. He said the case is also significant because it is a quasi-war crimes investigation. Roberts-Smith took leave from his role as General Manager of 7 Queensland during this case. In his corner has been 7 Chairman Kerry Stokes. This case has been dubbed, as you just heard, a de facto war crimes trial. But it's important to remember this is not a war crimes trial, it's a defamation case. And newspapers have to establish the imputations were true, but not beyond reasonable doubt. The bigger question now is, what does the Commonwealth do? With the judge agreeing that Roberts-Smith committed war crimes, including murders, will criminal charges now be brought against Robert Smith? This case sat for 110 days and it involved 41 witnesses. The public's faith in the Defence Force is likely to be eroded as a result of this case, which will also surely impact on Australia's reputation overseas as well. Investigative reporter for 9 newspapers, Nick McKenzie, said the issue of Robert Smith's medal removal remains in the hands of the ADF, but he says a review should be looked into it. At least this case, he says, proves that Robert Smith is a liar.
Now's the time for the nation and the Defence Force to absorb what the judge has found. The full findings will be released in due course. What is clear is Ben Robert Smith is a liar. Someone described Ben Robert Smith to me as the Lance Armstrong of the Australian military, and I think we must now take that as truth.